Hello everyone. So opening up a new can of worms here in Trinidad. Once I got polishing the boat and cleaning things up, I got underneath the anchor, and you can see just underneath that roller there's a big chunk missing. A couple years ago I filled that in with some epoxy, I'm pretty sure it was, and it came right back off again. So from when the boat rides over the chain, what happens when there's a lot of current, you end up sailing over top of the chain. That's where I got a lot of the scratches here that I polished out. That's why the paint here was all chipped up. So we got some new touch-up paint, but to prevent the tip of the bow from getting damaged like that again, I grabbed this piece of stainless that was already curved, and I'm gonna try to make a little lip cover, so something to just go around that lip, and I'll fill underneath it with thickened epoxy probably, then and a couple screws going down into the hull, and that will hopefully prevent this chain from digging into that and damaging that again. I'm just gonna take this down with a grinder to the workshop here and cut it in half. Alright, this is what I've come up with. It's just a rough cut. Hopefully I'm pretty close. See, that's gonna wrap around there, and that's looking pretty close already. I want to flatten it out a little bit here, and then maybe give it a little bit more of a curve. Yeah, so I'm gonna straighten out that curve a bit. See how it looks there. So I'm gonna actually give it more curve to go around, and then flatten the front out a little bit. So I'm gonna use the shop, and I'll be right back. This is the boater's workshop, and this is where I'm gonna try to straighten that pipe out. Alright, I'm a lot closer now. You can see I still got to trim a bit off here. I gotta make some marks. Using the cloth here because can't even find a pair of working gloves anymore. They disappear so fast. So I've just taken off all the burrs here, pretty close to the shape that I want. So I want to clean it up so I don't get one of these burrs in my hand. The final shaping I could probably just do with this grinder. It's away at it pretty good. I've used this since the beginning. I've only bought one flapper disc, and this made our whole hardtop and everything else I've done since I've been in Trinidad for the last 3.5 months. Alright, pretty happy with that. Oh, there's a bit of a inner burr here, but that'll be okay. Just to see how this fits. And I think what I want to do here, okay, I want to put a little bit more curve here and a little less curve here, and then try to squeeze it together a bit more. More curve on this side. Pinch this circle a bit smaller. I probably could use a smaller pipe, but I didn't know until I started cutting it. little bit unsymmetrical, but I can grind that down. Okay, it's looking really close now, except I have it backwards. This side here still has to bend in and down. That side there I'm pretty happy with. This side here, it's got to get bent more. All right. Alright, there's my contraption I'm going to need to stand on to get close enough to see what I'm attaching, because I'm at arm's length standing on this scaffold, and this is, as you can see, the tallest scaffold I have here. Knot Life has got a tall bow. I'm going to mix up some resin now, some thickened resin. I'm going to pack it in that big chunk that's taken out. I already ground that down a bit. I'm going to pack it inside that chunk missing underneath the lower, inside of this bow cap, we'll call it, and then I'm going to basically squish that on there, and once that hardens I'm going to drill out those holes and put a couple of screws so there's something physical holding it, even though because of the contour of the tube it won't come off, but I don't want it to, I don't know, I think you should have some screws. So that's where we are. Alright, we're gloving up here. Gonna mix up some thickened resin using silica. Really likes to get airborne. I need enough to fill this plus the big gouge. I don't care, this container's got some stains on it. It does not matter to me. Holding my breath here. These projects are pretty much done. This resin will probably spoil before I need it again unless I keep it nice and cool. I've already lost a lot of resin from the heat here. This well to get the resin inside of all of that silica. It's not airborne anymore, so let's close up this bag. Alright, gonna add in some mech. That's probably good. Midday, it should be rock hard with that sun. Alright, I'm pretty happy with how that turned out from start to finish. I got that on by like, I don't know, it's maybe 10 o'clock now or something. That's from very start to finish. So it did not take too long to shape that, grind it down, fill it, stick it on. All it's left to do now is drill those holes and put some screws in where I made the countersinks, and do some sanding and fairing around that. And I've already got the color match paint for the blue, so I'm going to paint that whole bow so you won't see any of those blotchy blue spots, and then we move on to the next project. This is a real quick little job here, just in case somebody's having the same kind of issues as we were having with this. I hope you learned something. Hope this was helpful. Got any tips for me? Love to hear them. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It's super hot here in Trinidad, and I'll see you next week.